welcome to my channel. I hope you guys have liked, subscribed, and keep interacting with me on my channel. So on today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to set up a PowerPoint presentation. I think I asked this on my Instagram page some time back, and a lot of people were like, oh, Anza, go on and do it. Before we start, I'd just like to say that I've won first prize for the Back conference. I should show you guys the certificate. I've won third runner-up prize for the PhD seminar at Wits University. I've just won many prizes. I'm good at speaking, I'm good at public speaking, and I think I do quite well when it comes to my PowerPoint presentations. I was just not bragging, I'm just showing you guys that the more girl has potential and she actually might qualify to be giving such a talk. So let me show you guys so this is my certificate. Do you see that first prize? Actually really love the certificate. There we go. I love that certificate. I love the other ones, but there's just something special about this one. I think it's the way that it's set up. I don't know, but I really love it. So yeah, where do we start? When I do my PowerPoint presentations, it's you first check what you have submitted on your abstract, and you try to align your presentation with whatever you've put in your abstract. When you start your presentation, you have to, it depends on the kind of presentation that you're doing. Also check the time that you're given and check the audience that you are addressing. So those are like three main things that I'll tell you guys about, like when you need to prepare for your PowerPoint presentation. So let me repeat. Number one, the time that you're given, 3 minutes, whatever, makes a lot of difference. The audience that you're addressing, and number three, it also depends on the kind of presentation or the kind of conference that you're attending. So let's say if you're giving a 3-minute presentation about your research in an academic field, what you're gonna do is have maybe 2 or 3 lines trying to explain what the background or like the literature review of your project is on about. You don't have to say much, you just have to discuss the main points. For example, with me, it will be something like about my research topic is, let's say, metagenomics of hypertension. So I'll say something like 26% of the South African population is affected by hypertension. It kills over 17 billion people annually, and the cause of essential hypertension is not known. So in my project, we decided that we're going to look at different causes or different mechanisms that may lead or may cause hypertension. So something like that. Obviously, I'm just making this as it goes. It's not what I would say, but that's just a short little mini introduction of something that I would say. So you make it short, make it sweet, make sure that you go straight to the point. And then with your methodology, I think it's better for you guys to just rather talk about your hypothesis and what you were aiming to do, your aims, and then describe the objectives and then go straight to your results. I don't think it's quite important for you to be like, I did NMR, I did this kind of thing, because you're gonna spend a lot of time, because the methods part actually takes a lot of time. So with the 3 minutes, just rather talk about your objectives and what you were trying to find. And when we tried to culture bacteria in rats, we found that there was a difference between the composition of the gut bacteria in hypertensive models and the normotensive models. And then you can be like, in conclusion, that shows that maybe gut bacteria may play a role in hypertension. So it's something short and sweet. You don't even have to go into limitations and 3-minute presentations. They don't require you to have slides. And then usually when you're doing something for marks, let's say honors presentations, protocol assessments, or proposal assessments, you're usually given about 10 to 15 minutes. So on those ones, it's like really important for you to look at what this is like, a proposal presentation. So Number one, you have your introductory slides that will have your name, your surname, your student number, your supervisors. And then the important one will be the research project, and the title of your project. It must be in bold, it must be bigger than every other thing. So when you look at the research project, when you look at the slides, it's just like boom, you can quickly see what your project is about, and then you can do whatever decoration that you have at the background. But it's always best to keep it simple. Don't have things that are distracting at the background where people cannot really focus on what you have on your slides. For example, so here's an example of what your introductory slides will be like. Your research title in bold, then you can have the names of people that are presenting. You have to start with your name that is present. I don't think you can see that. Yeah, the first name should be the person who's presenting. Then you can put your affiliations, usually your department, where you're studying, and the university name. Then I just decided to put that little picture there for ambiance. And then your second slide will be, so if with a 10 to 15 minute presentation, you should have about 10 slides, including both your intro and the thank you slide or reference slide that you're gonna have. So then the first page is your name, the title, and then with your second slide, it will be the beginning of your literature review. Then again, it should be short. It should be short, precise, point form. You don't have to be writing like paragraphs going on and on and on and on. Obviously you're not gonna be able to read what I've written, but you can see that it's just lines that are especially that there's like a lot of space in between. So I write main points that are needed, and then to finish off the sentence, that's the speech that you're gonna write on the side. So if you're giving a presentation and you have your laptop, you can actually have a tab down at the bottom where you write your whole speech. So if you're not good with like your memory or you freak out, then you can just read. Obviously your slides will be on the projector, and then you have the laptop and you'll be able to read. But like I said, it's point form. Example, as 25% of the world population have high blood pressure. Then I'll start explaining like adult population have hypertension because of 1 2 3 1 2 3 4, and then I come to the second slide, which will be major risk factor 4. So in that sentence, although I just said major risk factor 4, there's still things like, oh, hypertension is a major risk factor 4. So I didn't put the hypertension part because the main topic says hypertension. I don't have to repeat that part. And then number 2 is another lit review. So you have to be also specific. So like with my literature review, there's like 2 parts that I'm focusing on. So it's the hypertension, and then it's the bacteria part. So for me to transition from the hypertension to the gut bacteria, I'll say like 1 mini sentence, then I jump onto the next slide. Then the next slide is about bacteria. So I have it, same thing, space, point form. No need to be writing paragraphs and whatnot. The paragraphs go to your speech. Then you can have a slide only for your aims. Then you can have a slide for your objectives. Sometimes people don't want to have your aims and your aims and objectives in the same slides, mainly because like with your aims you probably are going to explain a lot of things, and with your objectives sometimes you don't have to include your objectives. You can also read them out when it comes to your what do you call this, results section. Not results, methodology, sorry. And then when it comes to the methodology section, what is important is that you do not have to write speeches, point forms, none whatsoever. It should always be in a diagram, a flow chart, flow diagram, whatever you call it. Don't write like number 1 I did this, number 2 I did this. So always have something like, I doubt you can never see, but you can see like a structure. So just methodology, and then I have the different techniques that I've been using. So you don't have to be inside the flowchart. You don't have to be writing like, I was doing DNA extraction. Just say number 1 DNA extraction, number 2 16S sequencing, number 3 biochemical test, number 4. You just have the structure of whatever you're gonna be doing. And then when you speak, again, it goes to your speech. When you speak, then you'll be like, I had 23 rat models. and then I did DNA extractions from the stomach, the gut back. Why am I saying gut bacteria? From the stomach to the large intestines, and then we went to NICD to do 16S sequencing using a Illumina MySeq machine, and these are the results that we found. Then your results are also best interpreted in diagrams. So always have diagrams, and no speeches on your diagram. No speeches on your diagrams when it comes to results and methodology. No speeches. So you have your diagram here. For example, I just have a bar graph. So with the bar graph, I know exactly what I'm going to be saying. So number one, you can just explain the different variables, like, oh, the blue graph stands for this, the white one, but obviously you always have a key box. So explain your key importance, key results, because if you go on and talk, you're not going to have enough time. So explain your key results. In this case, I had like three results section. The last one was just like a little fancy diagram that I just did. And then important part is the discussion. So again, it's in point form. The majority of things that I'm going to be saying for this will be on my speech. So the important thing that I said, what I like is that this is something that my supervisor taught me. So instead of saying that we found blah 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 blah, what you can do is on your first line of your discussion, you'll be like, this study showed, and then you have semicolon, and then you start having point forms. Number one, what is the first thing that you find? Number two, and go straight to the point. We found that there was a difference in gut bacteria between hypertensive and normotensive models. Finish. And you can even, like with the word hypertension, you can even put HPN. You don't have to write the full word for it. Save space. And then second, third, fourth, whatever results that you found in point form. And then the last thing should be like you relate that will put an understanding to what your results mean. So it's like, okay, this is what I found. So what? Then you explain like, oh, my findings actually show that they might have a role in hypertension. They might actually, and then you can start explaining like, the role in hypertension has been still showed in this study and that study, but that's not necessary, especially because you might not have enough time. And then what I just did here is then link or try to explain my results on the other discussion slide. And then it's always important to have your conclusion. You highlight number one, your main points in one sentence. It's basically your hypothesis. You just write like, if you have proved your hypothesis right or wrong, you can just say like, in conclusion, my hypothesis was 1 2 3 4, and this is what I found, and this is what it means, and then you're done. And then the slide, sorry for screaming, acknowledgements. Guys, you need to do acknowledgements. I didn't think they were important, but your people actually get touched when you don't questions for answer, but I'm already there like questions. It kind of shows that you know your work, you're confident, and you're ready to take on their questions. Points on speaking. Number one, be confident. Yay, don't look down, don't look sideways, don't be walking around. See one person that you like in the crowd who has a pretty face and stare at them. And the person should be at the center of the group. And then every now and then, you look to the side, but always come back to that person. And then when you have your pointer, you move from the person. You don't have to turn around with your whole body, just your head, to show that, honey, I know this diagram by head. I know what I'm saying. You must not look like you're reading everything from the side. So you take your pointer, you'll be like, okay, this is what's happening. And you just put the pointer. You just want to see if you're pointing at the right direction. But otherwise, don't read everything from your slides. Don't read from your slides. Say it and look at the people. And if you're not quite confident about not reading from your slides, then you can look at your computer, read for like 5 seconds, and finish the sentence by looking at the audience. Look, audience. You must always look stunning. There's something that just comes with looking pretty when you're presenting. Like with myself, that's the one day where I'll put on makeup, I'll put on hoops, I'll put on like my beautiful t-shirt, I'll look formal AF. I even wear heels if I have to, like go all out, because I know if I have that confidence, when I look at everyone else, I'm just like, I'm definitely pretty, obviously I'm smart, and So look pretty, look really pretty. Dress for the occasion. You don't want to be giving you don't want to be giving a presentation in a formal conference and you're wearing otherwise, because dress for the occasion. And you can never be too dressed, rather overdressed than underdressed. You don't want to be showing up with a t-shirt and your shorts and whatnot. I don't know, I think people, I don't really like the whole dressing thing, because it's just like you're judging a book by its cover and does not really go with looking at the person, understanding what they're doing. But you have to be audible, don't whisper, don't be too loud, as if you're in a tavern. Have the same tone throughout. Don't be one moment try to have like the same tone, same volume volume. So try to have the same tones and to have the same volume, and you got this. Oh, and pep talk before you give your presentation. Oh, before I say that, also guys, don't do a presentation 2 or 3 days before your conference or your protocol assessments or whatnot. That's not how it works, honey. Like with myself, I don't just wake up and be like, I'm going to do a presentation. The reason why I slay is because I put in the hours. I always make sure that in a week, or even sometimes 2 weeks prior to the conference or whatever I'm going to be presenting, my slides are set up. I already sent my supervisor or any other person to help me with editing everything that is there, to look at the slides, like, did I miss anything? Are my slides fine? Are my slides not too busy? I've already done that. By the time it's like 4 days left, I already know my speech by head, and a day or 2 days before, I've already submitted my slides to whoever is going to be putting up the PowerPoint presentation. So by the time I get to present, everything is in here. You should even know that slide 1 looks this way, how without even looking. Well, that's just me. That's I push myself when it comes to doing, because no, I need to be here. I push myself, and I think it's good, because should always aim to produce good things. And my video is quite long. I'm sorry about that. I don't think I've ever made a video this long. Oh, and the pep talk. So with me, pep talk, this is me. I'm first prize winner of blah 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 blah. I've talked to this, I've talked about this. Like, whose am I? The girl. You tell yourself every single day, if you have to write it down in the mirror, like, I'm going to slay this presentation, I'm going to take position 1, or I'm going to win an award from this presentation. Say it every single day, that you even believe it. When people are like, aren't you scared? Be like, I wanted to whip my hair like a Karen, but I don't have hair. So just honey, I was born for this. Like, my supervisor always asks me like a day before, oh, aren't you freaking out? Aren't you ready? And I'm like, I was born ready. What do you mean? Like, what are you even asking? Okay, that's my narcissistic side, but it actually helps a lot, because I amp myself so much that by the time I'm giving the presentation, if anyone says anything bad about me, it's just like, I'm already up here, you're already hyped up and you're happy. So yeah, if you have any other questions, I probably skipped a lot of things. If you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to contact me from any other social media platform at Anzatiba, every single place. I don't use Facebook though, but you'll find me everywhere. Just ask me. I can do like personal helping on the side. I've done that, so I don't mind doing that. Comment if you need any help. If you find it useful, if you just comment, like, subscribe, and share the video. Love you guys.